I'm on the wrong side.
You want to go there?
No, just look. The way it works is I'm standing on the wrong side when, you know, we're watching the monitor, and the monitor has everything opposite, which is funny. I'm actually over
I'm
here.
still on this side.
I know, but the
Oh,
monitor,
I see. I guess
monitor
it does,
has me over there. We're watching
guess it
ourselves on the
does.
monitor. Isn't that something? Which makes it look weird. So, because from the backside, because when they're watching off of the camera screen, they can sit there and we're in the right position, but our monitor has it backwards. Oh well. Which brings us into the topic, sort of what we're going to talk about, which is 3D.
Yes, and as you notice, just for 3D, because there's many different types, but we're going to be, what are we talking about today?
We're
True
talking
3D?
true 3D. This is, I mean, basically, everybody knows that we were capable of doing things in 3D Me, which is a god-awful long process. But last night...
Actually, probably be quicker at it now than before, because we've been playing with it for a while.
No, actually, but but you still got to watch the game, which people only in the set in the control room would understand, because it's basically, if it moves a little bit, you've lost all your work. So you got to make certain the pictures, you know, everything stays exactly where they're staying, because it's just an extension of 3D where they're sitting there doing every 3D is like we're shooting now with our 3D camera, which we don't actually have our 3D camera on, but we are going to bring the 3D camera and put it on a little while again. But this is our standard camera. This is the one that's getting replaced with our brand new Sony camera. Which really is a awful great looking piece of equipment. But we would be using this system here, which is like a double camera system, and we take one picture, slap it on, you know, an A and B roll, put them together, one in red, one in cayenne, you put them together. From that, then you go and make your print where you don't have to use the red cayenne glasses like she has on right there. But see, we're capable of doing that. We've also, what people understand too, is we up-stepped it one notch, which is driving people crazy. We have a view screen on our 3D camera that basically shows the thing in 3D while it's being shot.
Yes, I had so much fun shooting with it yesterday because people, I mean, part of it is we work with 3D all the time when we were amazed, and I showed people, and they were amazed because they could see themselves.
Oh,
right, I mean, right like that.
No, we were at the Orange County Auto Show, and the people are there. First of all, we got a brand new steady harness to basically put everything on, which is really a nice looking rig. They're coming there. Is that a 3D monitor? No, that's a 3D camera. And they go, you got to be kidding! And they're basically screwing my shots up as they come around, you know. Oh, and then they come back and, you know, and, oh, were you shooting? Well, I was. You know, I was. It's just like the same a few years ago. I broadcast live from SEMA in Las Vegas, old cam, when it was basically comments to the headlines a day in 60 seconds. Are you shooting live from here? And I said, I was until you got in my camera. You know, because I set the camera in front of me and was sitting at my computer desk reading the stuff off, or coming off from one. But
well, you know, the fun part is because they can see it instantly, right? They really get into it. They're like, oh, really? And so they're, you know.
I know.
So we've done separate things just for 3D. We didn't do a TV version where they are totally playing with it.
Because our camera mount is basically designed so that we can put the 3D camera, and why did somebody say, well, you're using two cameras, why don't you just do it to begin with? Well, because we could shoot in 2D and 3D at the same time by mounting the 3D camera on the 2D camera. It's done. And you have the 3D monitor, which is actually bigger than the screen that's on the 2D cameras now, and see it in 3D as it's actually being done, or run it back in 3D instantly so people that had a shot can see it. I mean, we had people, everybody wants to see themselves in 3D. And you don't have to have glasses because the screen is so set up on our camera.
I know, it is. Isn't that awesome? Now see, part of it, this is actually, it's not our miniature version. We are still waiting for our 3D, our true 3D camera.
It's the baby. Daddy isn't here yet, but this kid is. We picked up the kid until we can actually get the kid is only about like this. The daddy is about like that. There's a difference. But the daddy doesn't have a 3D screen on it. The child does. You know, thank good for Asian technology, folks, because it's an Asian camera. You know, that we were very lucky to get our hands on.
Oh, weren't we? Because when we bought it, well, let's just say they were telling everybody, well, you know, you have to have a 3D TV to watch it. No.
Nope, you can see it right on the screen. Yeah. Also, we also know that you don't have to have, and of course the newer sets you might have to. I've not had it hooked into a new set. But proprietary system on new 3D sets basically means you have to have their active shutter glasses to watch 3D on their things. I think that our productions will be available. I mean, like, we've got our new system, which is True 3D, which basically, it got finished this morning about, I'll tell you, it's been running in England continually since about 7 o'clock their time.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah, it is. I mean, basically, I sent over to the people over there a Windows media file, which is only like 320 by 240. They ruined it watching it so many times.
Oh, did they? Well, then you have to send them a higher copy.
Well, the problem is the higher. Okay, it's looking like okay, what we do is we create everything, is put in, it's either in an MPEG-4 file, or it's in an AVI file. And AVI is like 2 gigabytes, and don't believe that an MPEG-4 file is not large. Our
They can get very large.
My MPEG-4 file for that thing was like 700 million bytes, and it's like 3 minutes 26 seconds long. But, you know, what the problem is, the more you add to it, there's a lot of graphic artwork, because True 3D, what we're calling True 3D, is that you don't need to have 3D glasses to watch the action on the screen. It's like you've got two different movies in front of you. One is in 2D, and then you put the glasses on. Oh, it's one of these things, people are doing this with their glasses. They're taking the glasses, they're like bifocals, and they're trying to, oh, Christ, I mean, it's there. I mean, it's got the most god-awful, beautiful music score behind it, thanks to Chair Dog. And it features the Bikini Czar.
I'm available.
Yeah, Bikini Czar. It does feature Bikini Czar. It is going to start hitting. It's not going to be. We're going to do a teaser over on Daily Motion, so people can see a little bit of it. But it is a feature. It is our film short. It is basically, it's sort of a oddball thing. It should be animated, but it's not. It's basically but see what they call CGI or something. They're calling it. It's computer effects on the picture. And we actually sort of describe it. We took a chroma blue. This is our right here. This is our stone background. We took a chroma blue. She got on, Bikini Czar got in front of the chroma blue and danced to, because we're talking over about what we're doing at the same time. You know, I'm sitting over playing with stuff, and Cameron's doing this, and she's dancing, and we're talking over about the choreography and stuff, and the fact that it doesn't make any difference. The music you're dancing to is not going to be the music that ends up on it. So, which it did, but we sat there, people over at Chair Dog sat there and looked at the thing, and they decided that, the beat, I mean, the music was written with drums. There's 21 different sets of percussion instruments in this piece of music, and the music was written to the choreography that we created in about 5 minutes. And it's a really good piece of artwork. And like I said, it's got that. Okay, 3D has this sort of wow effect. When you stand off the side, it gives you the wow in the head. This is designed to give you the wow effect when you're standing there. And
actually, I was amazed by it, because while I'm watching it, I'm watching the 2D version, and then of course I put on the glasses and then watch the 3D version. I'm watching the 2D and the 3D, and I'm just rather mesmerized.
I know. It's basically, like I said, it's the first piece because it's basically almost going to be because it's the work. Everything is out there in public domain now. Everything is there. I've used, I tossed a little bit of 50 years of animation knowledge in to film knowledge and video knowledge and computer knowledge. It's basically everybody wrapped together to put something out there that you don't need 3D glasses to get the full experience. I mean, it is two different 3D
Well, it's like
videos.
two entirely, I mean,
Yeah.
because you enjoy it either way.
Yeah.
You can enjoy it 2D or 3D.
Yeah, it's probably going to be something that you're going to sit there. First, I'm guessing that people are going to be doing this, you know, like they said, that they're going to be doing the bifocal look, trying to look over the top and see, you know, look through the glasses over the top. They've got awful different. That's not there. It is in 3D. But what the 2D isn't there in 3D. Isn't that neat? What you see in 2D is changed in 3D.
Yep.
What is in 3D is not in 2D.
It's pretty fascinating.
It's sort of invisible, but it is there. And it's a, you know, it's an effect that I've developed. And it mostly, this effect right now, it's just in the beginning stages. I'm assuming that the people that know more about camera optics than I do will be able to simply expand upon the effect and give you the process, maybe not next year, but a few years down the line, but there's no glasses needed,
Right.
nor, you know, basically you can use glasses or not glasses. You know, basically the glasses would then be the, you know, for, wow, you know, which is, you know, or you can put a filter in front of your television set and, you know, drop the filter down and look at it, and you know, we've seen filters. I've seen filters back 60 years ago, folks. 60 years ago on television. I mean, they debuted a terrible thing I was in called, I think, Gorilla at Large with Perry Mason and Cameron Mitchell. I think it had Anne Bancroft in it too. I mean, we're talking a lot of high-powered actors in a really crappy movie, but they were studio people. And they debuted it on television because it went nowhere in the theaters. They did this great event, and all the families bought these little filter screens that you could basically adhere to your television screen through basically it was a sheet, and you put it on your screen. It just stuck there because through electricity. It just caused it, just flashing it all out. And you're sitting here watching the 3D thing. We're talking 60 years ago this was done. They could do it today, but they won't. Because they want to sell you a television set. But also, that the people upstairs in the industry basically hate the 3D thing because, well, by the time you get this, you'll have known that they canceled the 3D version of Harry Potter.
Oh, they did?
Didn't want to spend $50 million more to do it. So, because the majority, I think 9 out of 10 3D projects don't make it. They just lose money. I mean, so...
Well, because it does add a lot to the production cost.
It adds 1/3. If you're doing it After Effects, it does 1/3. It adds 1/3 more. And if you do it before, through with the 3D cameras, basically at the moment, you're basically getting a camera with a Sony lens that's like this, and equipment that's like this, and it runs you like an ungodly amount of money every day. I think it adds 1/3 up front, 1/3 back front, which means the film is 2/3 too expensive.
Oh, that's a lot.
This, what we did last night, what I finished up last night has virtually no expense to it whatsoever, just time. That's somebody that didn't have anything better to do in his life but to sit there and play with the effects.
Oh no, because you also have an animation background too.
Yeah, so I sat there.
And he loves to play with all of this.
'Cause I
But see,
know-
part of it is he has a base of knowledge that most people don't have.
Yeah, I played around. I'm thinking since '52 I've been playing in 3D. I've actually been in front of the camera on them. And so I've sat there and seen the asinine stuff that they do to make the thing work. I mean, we're talking basically, you know, Guy Madison is out there, and Guy Madison is basically shooting at the Indians, who are now shooting arrows and throwing lances. Of course, while they were chasing them, we all had rifles. But when we got to the charge at the river, the rifles vanished, and we're doing like this. We're throwing things, and you got to watch it because it's got one of the most ridiculous scenes in the world, where you see some of the actors with their rifles doing this to the lances that are being thrown in. They got rifles, they got bullets in them instead of because they're doing like this to knock the things away. Why? Because it looks good with the cameras, you know, because they got the camera setting. Then they had to do it more than once because they're doing it face on. But then they want to have it the other direction, so they got it this way, so they're knocking them away. But as my father said, well, why didn't you just shoot the SOB? And then Guy Madison said,